As for the NBA Finals, they start on Thursday. The Golden State Warriors will host the defending champion Cleveland Cavaliers. Yesterday, I sat down with NBA Hall of Famer Spencer Haywood to break down this historic series. Historic because this is the first time that two teams have faced each other 3 straight times in the championship series. So Cavs and Warriors. First off, what do you think about the history here?
I love the history. It sounds like a Lionel Richie song. Once, twice, 3 times, you know. Not only that, but you have 7 All-Stars in the game. You have some of the drummer, Kevin Durant, coming from Oklahoma City to the Warriors. And the Warriors had Cleveland last year, and they let them off the hook, and the Cleveland won. And the year before, the Warriors won. So now you have this balance of what's going to happen.
How do you think this rivalry compares to some of the great rivalries in the past, Lakers-Celtics, for example?
It's the same.
Same.
Yeah, even better, because you have today's athletes and today's players, which, I mean, for an old school player, is to say maybe they're better than we are because of the evolution of the game. I have never seen the handle of a Kyrie Irving. I have never seen a shooter as great as Steph Curry. I've never seen a small forward or a big forward as good a shooter as Kevin Durant. And yet you got the king on the other side, LeBron James, who is the best. And I know I'm going to get in a little trouble to put him ahead of the great Kareem and Michael Jordan, but he is right there.
You said so many things there that I need to go back on. First, you're an old school player, like you said, and you think the players of today are better than they were in your time.
Oh, yes, yes.
How so?
Because these guys are able to train better, to treat their bodies differently, to learn from the game, what it had produced before. I mean, it's a different game. And I was looking at the triple doubles this year. Everyone was talking, well, you know, Oscar did triple doubles for a season, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, but if you look at the reality, Oscar played against 8 teams. There was only 8 teams in the NBA at that time. There's 32 teams. There's a whole array of different players.
And then on the other side, you've got people that would say, well, they didn't start recording stats like assists and steals until a certain time, right? Or steals and blocks, I think.
Steals and blocks and assists, but
Wilt Chamberlain would argue with you.
Yeah, but he's not here.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
Wilt the Still. Okay, back to this current finals. Are you of the mindset that we should appreciate the dominance of these 2 teams, the Cavs and the Warriors, or do you wish that the playoffs had been more competitive?
I wish it had been more competitive, but the dance is here.
Why is there such disparity within the NBA?
Because you have players chasing the ring to some degree and going to one team, and you have people who want to play with LeBron James and they want to play with Steph. So you're going to attract.
You're able to manufacture a team.
Manufacture a team, yes.
Players have a lot of power in that regard now.
That's the power. That's what I fought for.
Since you brought it up, I think it is important to remind people of your contribution historically to the NBA.
I came into the NBA as the first youth and the first young player to play in the NBA, and I had to fight all the way to the Supreme Court because I wasn't able to play at the beginning because the league said no, and I said yes, I want to play, and so they sued me and I sued them, and then we went to the lower courts all the way to the state court, all the way to the Supreme Court, where I won after a season of agony. Before I came along, 4 years, you had to wait 4 years after your high school class had graduated.
Your work allowed players like LeBron James to enter the league when he did.
Well, for an example, a guy like LeBron, he came into the league out of high school. He was grossing $25 million a year, so he's $100 million richer.
Because he didn't have to go to school 4 years.
4 years. Kevin Durant, I would think that he's rich as $75 million.
Back to LeBron James. Where do you stand on the argument of greatest all time compared to MJ?
Well, MJ is on top right now, but
still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he has to finish his career and everything, but for the sake of argument, he's better.
Michael Jordan?
No.
LeBron?
LeBron.
Okay, how come?
Because he's bigger, he's faster, he's more advanced, and plus I like to argue with the old guys, you know, because they don't even pick either one of those guys.
Who do they pick?
Kareem. Yeah, so.
So how important is this series to LeBron's legacy and possibly becoming considered
the man? Yes, that's why it's very important. But you got on the other side, you got Kevin Durant, who has not had, he don't have that championship. He don't have this ring, you know, so he's trying to get it. And the Golden State Warriors were there last year. They said, well, you know, by the grace of whatever, we didn't get it. But this year, we are determined to get this, and we are determined to stop the king in his tracks.
Are the Warriors hungrier, do you think?
The Warriors is who I'm picking.
Okay.
Because I think they have a couple of things going. They have the coach from Cleveland who were fired twice by the Cavaliers. That's an edge. You have
their assistant coach.
Well, he's the assistant coach, but
Kerr.
Now he's the head coach because Kerr is not there. So
Right.
you got to take what you have. And that's Mike Brown. And you have the original coach is not there. They're playing for him as well. They're playing for Kevin Durant. And then last year they were right there, and it got snatched from them. So that's the edge that I'm looking at. And both teams are loaded with players, and it's going to be a duel.